Welcome back, drawing buddies. This week we're gonna draw Ladybug from pencils to inks to colors. So if that sounds like a good way to spend 19 or 20 minutes or so, then let's draw Miraculous, The Adventures of Ladybug. And I don't know if Cat Noir is in the title, if it's Ladybug and Cat Noir. I haven't watched it in like a month or two. But I know what it is from watching it with my little bugger boo. We were watching it when she first started to walk and you know, something to catch her attention like a TV. And no, we don't sit her in front of the TV all day. We run around, we play with her, we bring her to the park. But, you know, sometimes you just want to relax a little. And we put on some TV. So I don't even think she was walking yet. And we used to put on one of those free channels on the Samsung TVs. And one of them was the Disney XD channel. And they were playing Ladybug and Cat Noir. She got into it and she was smiling and liking it. So it's like, cool, we will watch this with her. Oh, I don't know if they have a comic book, so I don't know what her first appearance would be. I'm going to look that up in a minute, though, because I'm curious. And I should have stuck with this body. I mean, the new body is great, and I love it, and I think it's better. But this one would have been just fine, and it had more of that animated look the way that she's animated. So, oh well. Again, I still haven't, after a year drawing these things, learned to trust myself on my first go, and I'm always second guessing and correcting things, but that's a whole nother story. So anyway, and this weird animated thing was on, a Ladybug, and I guess they caught her attention because you know, I don't know what catches kids' attention. And at the time I was calling her my little bugger boo. Now I call her my bug face. And I don't know where I got it from, but then watching the Cat Noir thing, I think Cat Noir was calling Ladybug bugger boo in the show. I'm like, I'm not going to call her that anymore because it'll seem like I stole it from Ladybug. But it's a fun little show, and we started watching it again because my son told me she was watching it at home, and I'm like, oh, cool, Ladybug. Let's give that another shot here. So we did, and she still digs it. And I figure another poster for her wall, so let's draw Ladybug. The show, you get these little things called Miraculouses. Hers is like a yo-yo, and Cat Noir's is a ring, and I forgot the bad guy's name. Pause. Okay, he's called Hawkmoth. And he's using the Miraculouses for evil, and you're not supposed to use them for evil. So the ancient holder of the Miraculouses decides he needs to put a couple more out in the world to defeat the bad guy. So he takes the two most powerful ones, which for some reason is the Ladybug and the cat. The cat, I understand. And he goes out to find users of them. And he decides Marionette, you know, a mousy little schoolgirl, I think she's 15 or 16 years old, would be the bearer of the Ladybug Miraculous. And I think they have names that aren't Ladybug and Cat Noir, like they're like a feature or a character trait. But anyway, and then they decide on Adrian, who just happens to be Hawkmoth's son, the bad guy, to be Cat Noir. And I guess they only can change into their forms for like 15 minutes or so. And at first, Marionette wants nothing to do with being Ladybug. She doesn't feel she's worthy, you know. And after they defeat the first villain and she realizes the responsibility passed on to her, she decides that, yes, I will accept this responsibility and I will be the Ladybug. And then Cat Noir, you know, and it's kind of weird because Marionette falls in love with Adrian. And Cat Noir falls in love with Ladybug, but they don't know each other's secret identity because that's part of the whole having a miraculous thing. You can't tell people your identity. So they're sort of into each other, but they're not because they're into each other's alter egos and they don't know the difference, even though they look just like each other. But all superheroes look like that, so you can't call that a fault of the show. And I was also watching, I was like, it looks a little weird. The mouths don't totally line up right. And so I Googled it, and it turns out, of all things, it's French. And then that makes a lot of sense, because everything happens in France and at the Louvre and all that stuff. So I should have been paying better attention to the show. And it's like a villain of the week kind of thing. Something happens to somebody on the street or somebody in school, and they get all depressed and they're feeling down. And Hawkmoth's power is to send a little moth, I forgot what it's called, shoot. And as soon as I pause it, I remembered what it was. It's called an Akuma, and they're these little butterflies, and they're supposed to be pure and grant people powers temporarily, but he corrupts them. and they give the people evil powers. So like if you like pigeons, you become an evil pigeon man, which is a recurring joke in this show. The pigeon guy keeps becoming a miraculous thing. And these things, they cause damage all throughout France. They destroy buildings and landmarks and the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. And at the end of it, Ladybug takes her little yo-yo and she captures the butterfly and de-evilizes it, because you have to de-evilize it or they multiply and they make a bunch of people evil. They learned that in the first or second episode where they got their powers. And when she does that, she then spins her yo-yo again, and it literally resets everything bad that happened. So, like, nothing happened. And then they don't hold the people responsible who turned evil and crushed things, I guess because Hawkmoth did that to them. But it was really their anger that came out and destroyed all that stuff. But who am I to pick the morals of a kid's cartoon from France? But yeah, it's fun. And then Cat Noir always shows up, and they have to work together. And there was one episode where they had more Miraculouses, but I forgot what happened. And like at first, Marionette was trying to pass it off to her best friend, and she didn't take it or didn't want it, or she didn't understand what's going on. I don't remember, but yeah. So yeah, they push the reset button, everything's back to normal, and then they start out again. There's one with a girl on rollerblades, and there's all kinds of fun villains, and it's a interesting premise. The problem is the no consequences thing. I was going to draw Ladybug early on in the channel. I was doing a gamer convention, and I was sitting next to Keith Williams. He's an inker, and he did a lot of great work and inked a lot of cool books in the 90s and 2000s. I'm sure he's still working today. I just don't read as many comic books to see his name out there. And I was sitting right next to him. He's the nicest guy ever, and I was talking to him for a while, and I was looking at his prints, because he's also an artist penciler. He doesn't just ink. And he did Ladybug Cat Noir, like, Ladybug Cat Noir, my little bugger watches those. And he's like, yeah. One of his grandkids watches it too or whatever, and he was talking about it. And he's like, yeah, I figured I'd make a good print. And he's a lot of them. So, yeah. But then I totally blanked on it, and the kids stopped watching it, so it fell to the wayside. But since we started watching it again, I was like, I want to draw something else for her bedroom. Oh, the pencils are done. It is now time to ink Ladybug. So yeah, so I did the Ladybug, and if this video does okay, I will do the cat too, Cat Noir. So it's a group for the bugger, because we're filling her room up with my art for some reason. I don't understand that, because I'm not a big fan of hanging up my own art. I think it's kind of pretentious and silly, and I don't have any of it hanging up in my house. We talked about that before, although I might hang up the Spider-Gwen, because I made a print for myself. But, you know, other people like it, and the bugger likes it, and she likes to sit around and look through the art in my phone and in my iPad when I'm watching her. We'll just sit down, she'll go through, it's like, I saw something. She's like, Ladybug! Or she'll be like, I saw something, because I got pictures of other things that I take and reference things that I steal off the internet. But it's fun when she sees something she likes and she picks on it. She's like, that's the one I like. And when I finished this one, she looked at it, and I said, hey, you want a picture of this for your room? She looks at it, she goes, yes! Except she said it in a cute little girl kind of yes, not a creepy old man kind of yes. And so, yeah, so it's cool. She's going to hang it up. So I got to make her a Miles and a Ladybug to hang up. The Raphael video got terrible views, which surprised me. I guess turtles aren't cool anymore, but I'm still finishing it, because I got to do the Donatello and the Michelangelo, and I went through all the aggravation to line up the perspective, and I love the turtles. So if the YouTube world doesn't like the turtle drawings, that's fine. I'll get over it. But I am still going to finish them, and maybe Raphael's just not the most popular turtle, because the Donatello video did really well. But weirdly, even though it didn't get a lot of views, and it's got average amount of views in the main video, the shorts didn't get a lot of views. Let me rephrase that. So maybe YouTube got a new way of sending shorts to people. But it got a decent amount of followers, which surprised me. I mean, there were days where it got 0, one day it got a -1, but then there was a day where it got 6 or 7, and another day where it got 8, and another day where it got 2, so one of these days I'm going to become one of those people who understand algorithms, and I'm going to figure this stuff out. Because the drawings aren't stopping, because I enjoy drawing them. And I actually like sitting here and talking to myself to give the voiceover for you guys. And so I hope eventually it catches on enough so that at least, I feel like I'm not wasting my time. But right now I don't even think I am, because there are people who do watch it regularly, and I always say if just one person likes what I'm doing, I am perfectly okay with that. So even with the music and stuff, which I will be putting out a new single at the end of the summer. There'll be 3 songs. My friend's coming over to record the drums on Friday, not tomorrow. So, yay on that. Not that that's why you guys are here, but I will probably put a link to it from the other channel. And I was thinking, since I got the vocal thing down a little better and I understand mixing bass a little better, that I am going to clean up the first album that I did, because I wanted to get a record of it, because I guess you could get single records pressed now for like $30-something. And I want one for myself, and I'll probably get one for my kid too, and a couple friends who pain in the ass and ask me about it. So there's an update on all my other little creative things, because I think as far as the album goes, I think the songs are good. I think the basic performances are good as far as, the instrumentation. But I haven't quite mastered the whole mix and master yet, and I'm just I can get through it kind of singer, not a great singer. So I think I'm going to look around and see if there's a place where I can take voice lessons here where I live, because I knew some people who took them before, and they say you don't need a lot of lessons, you just need enough to get the breathing down and some other things. So I'm like, all right, I'm down. Oh, the inks are done. I forgot how short the inks were on this one, because it's literally just Ladybug, and she's not one where I had to put a lot of complicated shadows and line work on, because she has a pretty simple outfit. In fact, she suffers from Daredevil syndrome. She's basically just all red. Even her Miraculous is all red. It's a red yo-yo. So, I mean, other than red, a deep red and some highlights in her hair, it's blue, although I'm pretty sure it's probably supposed to be black. But even in the animated thing, it looks blue. So I just went with the blue and more of a teal. So my Ladybug definitely has blue hair and not black. And she also has piercing blue eyes. So I put a little more detail in the eyes than I normally do. I added darks and lights to them so they would, look more like human eyes than just the colored blobs I usually do. I think I'm going to get a gel printing kit for those of you who don't know what it is, because I just found out what it is. I ran into a bunch of Instagram videos. It's a plate of some kind of gel, and you put acrylic paint on it, and then you put a photocopy, a laser copy on it with just cheap regular paper. And where the black is on the laser copy, it just, the ink stays and the paper absorbs the rest of the paint. And then you put a few different layers on if you want. And then you put a wet layer of white or clear gel medium on it. And then you pull it off, and it's like making a block print without all the aggravation of buying the really expensive tools that you need to make a block print. And the things that I saw online were mostly, in fact, they were pretty much exclusively just people using found items like leaves and lace and stuff, and they look really cool. Or they were using magazines, which I think is magic, because I don't know how it only pulls it off of certain colors and not the other colors. But I think it's probably because the black's printed on top, but I don't know. Or they use like photographs that they make black and white copies of. Or they use other people's art, like the gorillas or things like that. Or they turn things into black and white line art, like rock bands and posters. But I didn't see anybody doing their own original art. So I thought that would be fun, since I really like the black and white art aspect of what I do here. So I am going to get a gel print, and I'm going to mess around with it and try to, see what comes of it. And the other fun thing is, it'll be an excuse to buy a cheap laser printer. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. You can get one for from $25 to $50, because all you need is a black and white one, and I don't need an expensive one. And I think Ladybug would be an awesome one to do, because you got the black and then the blue and the red, and that's pretty much it, because you keep it simple so it looks like a screen print. And since I used to screen print, and I wish I had someplace I could screen print now, well, I could. But when I go to clean the screen prints, I will literally stain my bathtub whatever color I'm printing, and I don't think the landlord would be very happy about that. Not like I could screen the prints outside, but like, no, that won't be cool, because then I'll be staining the side of the house or a tree or the driveway. So unless I find a place to screen print, I will not be screen printing anytime soon. I just had to pause this because a helicopter just flew over my house. I live not that far from a hospital, and I guess it's a decent hospital because they have a LifeStar pad, and people get LifeStar there every once in a while. where I used to live in this town, I was even closer to it, so I heard the helicopters a lot louder. Because they would go over my house a lot more because I was just a lot closer. But now, I just hear them every once in a while, and I have to pause the video. I guess there's a couple Ladybug and Cat Noir movies, too, that I saw on Disney+. So I think maybe tomorrow when I'm watching the Bug, I'll see if she wants to watch those, because she's been watching this Bluey thing with, it's a play, stage show of Bluey, and she calls it Dancing Bluey, and she watches it almost all day when she's not running around and playing and dancing and going to the park. So, and in fact, it's coming to our area, so we might take her to see it because it's on the weekend of her birthday, which would be perfect. So yeah, Ladybug, she's kind of interesting. I wonder if she ever left France, or they had an adventure overseas, like they did a school field trip. I'm gonna have to look into that. And if that did, I'm going to watch a movie on that. For her background, I obviously didn't draw France. I just went with the splatter kind of background thing, but I went with brighter, fun colors because, you know, I like bright, fun colors. I used to work in graphic design at a book publisher who shall remain nameless, and I used to make the brochures that advertise their books, their educational books. And I would always make the cover a bright orange or a bright pink or a bright green because, you know, I thought that, you know, a nice bright color or a spot color would draw people's attention to that catalog and maybe they would buy those books. And they never made me change any of the art, but they would make me tone down the colors a lot every now and then. So, but I tried, you know, bring a little spice to that company's color profile. And I went with a lot of the bendays and all the fun stuff on this, and I added the benday dots to her body and stuff to give it more texture, more feel, so it wasn't just flat red. And even though I sort of finished this off with the red, I don't know if I included in the video. We'll find out in a minute, but I went back and I changed her costume to more of a magenta because the red just looked too plain to me. So, and I remember when I did the Captain America, I made his colors really bright. Like I went with a bright blue, almost a teal, and then I went with his face was almost orange. I went with more graphic colors. And I decided to do the same thing with Ladybug here, Miss Marionette. So it'll be more fun, especially to hang it on the Bugaboo's wall. See, I said Bugaboo because now it's in my head from watching Miraculous. And after this, next week is going to be Ghost Rider. It's just a standing pose of Ghost Rider. Nothing crazy, but just cool. Because, you know, Flaming Skull. Who doesn't want to draw a Flaming Skull? And I don't know a lot about Ghost Rider, and I grew up in the Danny Ketch era of Ghost Rider, and I didn't really read them. So I will share my limited knowledge of the various Ghost Riders, and I will watch the Nicolas Cage movie tonight, and maybe even the second one tomorrow, unless I decide to do the voiceover, because I feel I gleaned enough information from the first movie. And that's going to be fun, because, you know, Nicolas Cage is Ghost Rider. Not a great movie, but it's a little insane. So I am all for it. Yeah, so I hope you guys watch Ladybug, because I really want to draw Cat Noir, so the bugger has a set, and I definitely got to get I'm going to either do Peter Parker soon for the Spider-Man set, or I'm going to do Venom, because I want to draw a regular Venom. I haven't drawn a regular Venom yet. I've only done the Mickey Mouse Venom, which is fun and cool, but, you know, I think just a regular mean, Venom, you know, drooling, not too big of a tongue. I subscribe to the Todd McFarlane School of Venom. But on that note, we are pretty much done with Ladybug from Miraculous. Ladybug and Cat Noir. So like and subscribe and all that other fun stuff, because we will hit 1,000 followers eventually, even though we should have been there by now. Have yourselves a great week, and go out and draw something. And I'll see you next week with Ghost Rider.